I have bones, let me tell you about them. Welcome back to Trauma Team. What kind of intro was that? Last time, we continued to try and find out what is going on with this virus that's the quarantine going on in Portland. And we've learned that the bone fragment that was inside that cat, to which its name escapes me, was also a fragment of this skeleton that was found at Usamrid. In addition, we kind of found out what makes it correlate with this weird pathogen or this virus that is inside the bones. And the reason that the researcher got it was because the bones got inside his body when he scraped some of the bones and got the bone dust inside. So with that quick little background, let's use our computer. We have a few things that we can figure out and make correlate with each other. So get your antiviral drugs. Syringe has doses that would adversely affect the body. We can combine that with weakened skeleton, I think.
Yes, it seems that these can be used together. The large amounts of antiviral drugs found in the corpse's personal effects, and an ampule of ashfins, a dangerous antiviral reagent. The reason that ashfins was never approved was because...
It was because of the abnormal calcium consumption making your bones weak.
Indeed. Ashfins consumes large amounts of calcium from the human body. A 50-kilogram person's body contains roughly 1 kilogram of calcium. 99% of that is in the bones and teeth. In other words, the side effect of the ashfins drugs is...
decreased bone density.
Yes. What first comes to mind would be an abnormal decrease in bone density. Considering the information that's been gathered so far, this person likely administered the ashfins drug to...
themselves.
Yes, themselves. The first piece of evidence supporting that is...
Have to be fractured femur.
The complete fracturing of the femur, the strongest bone in the human body. Continuing on, the second point would be...
Loss of meniscus. Dangerous injections.
Yes, the loss of the meniscus in the left knee. Thus, we can deduce that the person's weakened skeletal system was due to the side effects of the ashfins drug. I have a bad feeling about this.
Alright. You should combine this with, I guess, the bone nitrogen concentration? No, okay. You should combine this. Ah, yeah, dust-borne infection with the dangerous injections.
Yes, it seems that these can be combined. These bones passed on the viral hemorrhagic fever via contact with mucous membranes. And whoever this was, they had been taking large doses of antiviral drugs along with a dangerous unapproved one. It's likely that this person was...
using himself as a test subject? Let's see. His Ashman used the technical skill. Yeah, just testing himself. No, it was... Oh, okay. Okay, I guess it was that.
Yes.
Sorry.
This individual had been infected with some kind of virus.
Oh, yeah, because that's why he would be using it.
That virus itself was...
If that's the case, then the cause of death was...
I should stop making conjectures. I need some hard evidence to back these theories up. Hemorrhagic fever causes hemorrhaging from all over the body, along with other various conditions. If we could find traces of that disease...
Hemorrhaging from all over.
Is something wrong?
Oh, well, we just received the results from the analysis. It says that the blood stain on the person's clothing contained traces of saliva.
Saliva? If that's the case, then that bloodstain was...
vomited, as I assumed earlier.
Yes, it came through the mouth, likely by being vomited. That would explain why there were no signs of damage to the person's clothing.
Traces of vomiting blood, death by hemorrhagic fever.
The blood stain on the clothing was due to the person vomiting blood. The viral hemorrhagic fever causes bleeding from all over, both internally and externally. Vomiting blood is one of the signs of this disease as well. This person died of viral hemorrhagic fever. The evidence that I'm drawing that conclusion from is...
The evidence this person died of a viral hemorrhagic fever is, the weakened bones.
I can't mess around.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention, guys. My bad. I like how both scripted noises came off at the same time. It's the fractured femur, guys. I'm sorry. What are you talking about? I obviously meant the wound on the abdomen. Oh my god, there's so much talking at the same time.
Calm down, make and ascertain the truth, Naomi.
I did not look at the fourth choice. I've been ignoring the fourth choice half the time because they're always joke ones. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, right. Internet.
If this person was still alive after having had an attack of vomiting blood, I highly doubt that they'd go on without doing something about the bloody clothes. Thus, the traces of vomited blood on the clothing indicates that this person died soon after this attack.
We finally figured out the cause of death.
Yes. Long before the pandemic that is currently raging broke out, this person caught and died of the viral hemorrhagic fever that caused this quarantine. Who in the world are you?
Dr. Kimishima, if I may?
Go on.
I've noticed something.
I'm all ears.
Well, this antiviral reagent, Ashvin's, it was rejected by the FDA for its dangerous side effects. That, along with the large amount of antiviral drugs, these things aren't available to the general public.
You have a point. Someone who would have access to these things would be calm down and ascertain the truth, Naomi.
In a health profession.
Indeed. It would be someone who has the knowledge of these new drugs and their effects on viruses. It would also be someone who has the authority to obtain such information from the medical community.
That's what I think. Does that help a little?
It's fantastic. Let's move on to the next step. How can we identify this individual, little guy?
But all we have is the skeleton and personal effects.
That shouldn't be a problem. Or is my opinion of you overrated? If this person is in the health profession, then the FBI database should have an entry. By studying the bones, we can narrow down just who this person was.
Why'd you ask me if you already knew the answer to your own question?
We don't have time for complaining. Look up details about skeletons in our forensics database. Send what you find over to my computer immediately.
Yikes. Give me a moment. There, I found them. You want me to send them over to you, right?
Now it's time for the grand reveal. Let's compare the skeleton's characteristics with our information. Then we can confirm just who this person is.
Well, this is gonna be awkward. We can't have you do that. Alright. Do I combine head with head? Then why are they here?
15 types of amino acids were detected in the skeleton. There was a very high concentration of nitrogen as well. If I compare this information with the materials available, calm down and ascertain the truth, Naomi.
The estimated time of death for this body. 10 years ago. Uh-oh.
I cannot make any more mistakes.
I'll answer this question later. Now is not the time to answer that question. Now's the time to answer that question.
If calm down and ascertain the
2 years ago. Ha ha ha!
That's right. We can assume that this person died somewhere around 2 years ago. Someone had this disease 2 years ago? Long before this pandemic began? This fact alone won't get us anywhere. But if I consider it in light of other information...
And you can't look at any of these. But how do I get other evidence? Do I have to go in and inspect the skeleton? Is that what they want me to do for that? I guess. Oh, okay, I'm supposed to look at the skull and stuff and, like, look at the details on it. He looks like he's got square, like, that looks normal. And here he's got 2 big holes. He or she. I feel like it's a he. My theory is it's the doctor. That got CRSO1 knows about. Oh yeah, how do we confirm the thing? How do we, like, answer the question? How do I do that?
There's no damage to the pelvis. I should look at its shape, just in case.
Okay, okay. I was about to say, like, what do I do to get this to go?
Determine something from the shape of the pelvis. The skull has triangular orbital bones. Is there any information that can be deduced by the shape of the orbital bones? The cranial sutures have begun to fuse, but they aren't completely fused yet. This is what's causing the cranial sutures to resemble broken lines instead of solid ones.
Because at first I was completely confused. For some reason, I did not think, oh, I gotta just examine them and then get their matching things. Now I can do it. Sorry, guys. I'm a little tired. It's okay. Partially fused. Cranial structures fuse as the body ages. The suture become visible to the naked eye in the mid-40s, begin fusing in the 50s, and have completely fused. Alright, so it's 50s.
That's right. The crane, calm down and ascertain the truth, Naomi.
Hate to kind of, like, skip through those intro ones, but you know what they're gonna say.
Yes. The fusing is consistent with that of a person in their 50s. In other words, it means that this person was around 50 years old at the time of death.
Alright, let's, different sexes have different pelvic shapes. Males have a heart shape, females have more ovals. It's a heart.
An individual's gender... Calm down and ascertain the truth, Naomi.
Both. Ha! Tumblr will be happy that they saw that.
Yes. The pelvis is heart-shaped. Thus, we can deduce that this skeleton is male.
And here. Caucasians are more triangular, Ethiopians are squared, Mongolians rounder. Well, she said triangle earlier.
German physician, one compare, calm down and ascertain the truth, Naomi.
American. Man, that's not fair. Stupid people always pick American. I would have picked it if I had more than one hit left.
This skull has the characteristics of a Caucasian. A Caucasian male in his 50s who died 2 years ago and was familiar with viruses. All the information we need has been gathered. Now we'll be able to figure out whose remains these truly are. We couldn't identify this body after all. But there is an important fact that I understand now. First, let's sort out what we do know. We'll talk later. First is the time since death. The card with that is... Yes, the nitrogen and amino acids in the bones prove that. Remember, the body's soft tissue was gone before it was found. This suggests that the body wasn't underwater or buried. Next, I have the card stating the gender of the body. Correct. The shape of the pelvis, the face, and bones prove that. However, he had a thin build. He could hardly be muscular. Next, the age. This card tells our findings. Yes, the cranial sutures have fused with age. This proves that this person was at least in his 50s. It's possible to determine his race as well. This card shows my conclusion based on the evidence. Racial differences are mainly exhibited in skull shape. The eye sockets, cheekbones, nose ridge, it's clear. Our next clue is his occupation. Now, this is only speculation. But I believe this card shows what he did for a living. Yes, if the items belong to him, he was in medicine. In addition, it's likely that he worked in pathology. Now then, what was the cause of his untimely demise? This card shows that reason. A virus living within a corpse long after the host dies. I don't want to believe it, but bones don't lie. The virus passes into the mucous membranes on contact. He died like the man Gabe diagnosed, hemorrhagic fever. He understood what was happening. He knew why he died. He knew, and it shows in the last words he had to say.
My son, forgive me. I was enticed by the devil.
That is the truth, illuminated by the light of this life. With this in mind, I can use the data to find an individual. He's...
Hey! Hey, you listening? Where are you going?
Just be quiet and follow me. We need to talk to the chief. Chief, I'd like to speak with you.
What did you say?
It may be hard to believe, but listen to me, please. The bones Gabe came here with contained the infectious virus. But since the infection is not carried by air, the chances of these bones being a source of pandemic is low. However, they may still be a clue to finding a solution.
I can't believe the two of you could find out so much.
No, this is just a coincidence. Still, Dr. Tachibana should be done with a biopsy on the same virus.
Vector of infection's unknown, but we've ID'd it. You think we'll make it in time?
It's near hopeless. The disease advances too rapidly. The infected will all die before we finish the DNA analysis.
Damn it. Isn't there any other lead we can follow?
This isn't a clue, but I have one more thing I must report.
You must report?
I compared the reconstructed bones to our database. Only one person was a match for the data we had.
Who is it?
Him?
Yes, Albert Sart, a professor of virology, who vanished after the Cumberland College incident.